Hello! Are you struggling to win games on multiplayer in Halo Wars 2? Well, here's 5 tips / mistakes I commonly see when facing people online, whether it be 1v1, 2v2s, or even 3v3s. These tips should help you improve dramatically. So let's get into it! So tip number 1 is going to be mini bases. The first thing that I see is people on the other team, and even on my team for that matter, not taking mini bases in a reasonable time, or just flat out not taking them at all. These are a cheap cost that can help you get an extra building point. So there's a thing, you can build units on it, you can build resources on it. So that's just flat out you should get them for that reason. Not to mention that mini bases have the most XP that go towards your leader power progression, so you can be gathering up more experience for your leader powers to get them quicker. So that's another reason why you should get your mini bases. And the last reason why I believe mini bases are really important is they give you a line of sight. So whether that's stealing the enemy's mini base or just having your own, in certain maps, they will give you a line of sight to either see what your opponent is running or just see where they're at. So these are the reasons why mini bases are important. And if you start making sure that your mini bases are a priority and you haven't been, you should start winning more games. So tip number 2 is going to be power nodes. So power nodes are very important to capture, and you should always want to look to capture them pretty early in the game, actually. Power nodes, even though they do not give you a significant amount of power, they do, however, give you, once again, the XP towards your leader power progression. So this is another way that you can get your leader power to gain faster. You can get more points and start outpointing your opponents. They do give you power. Now it is half the power of an unupgraded generator or extractor. So it's not a significant amount, so it takes about 4 power nodes to get to an augmented extractor or an upgraded generator. But they do give you line of sight, and most of them are scattered around the map to where they're either going to be in front of your base so you can see them before they get to you. They can be on the opponent side of the map so that you can see your opponent's bases or see your opponents when they're getting ready to move. Just really a lot of good things that happen with power nodes. So for those 3 reasons, I would say get your power nodes. And if you start making sure to put your power nodes as a priority in the game, you should start winning more games. Alrighty guys, so that brings us to tip number 3. Is going to be our leader unit. Leader units can make or break your game, especially in the early game. If you are just running a straight army of infantry, marines, maybe some jackrabbits, and they have the same, but they have either their Spartan, their leader, whatever, they're going to probably win that encounter, mainly because they're that strong, folks. One thing you might be thinking is when I first pull my leader out, they don't do much damage at all and they die super quickly, and that's very true. One thing that I will note, when you pull your leader out, try to make sure that before he comes out or while he's coming out, you have the upgrade to get his first upgrade. If you do that, that makes them extremely strong, and then they also have an upgraded ability when you do that. So most of the time for Spartans, it's going to be hijack. Then you have, like, for example, Decimus has his pull, Atriox has his stun, so on and so forth. So if you're making sure that your leaders are upgraded when they come out, they'll be very strong. They also can be one of the strongest units in the game. I have seen, especially once you have them fully upgraded and you have them with any type of veterancy on them, especially if it gets to 2 or 3, you can wipe out entire armies with just your leader once it gets that powerful. It's that crazy, folks. And if you're not pulling out your leader, in a reasonable time, or you just for some reason don't use your leader at all, which was something I did when I first started playing Halo Wars 2, I didn't think the leader was worth it. And now here we are today. So if you are one that's struggling to pull your leader unit out and you're wondering why you're not winning as many games or as many encounters, this might be the reason why. So do this and you should see more victories. Alrighty, we're going to move on to point number 4, and that's going to be your turrets. Even still to this day, I personally struggle putting turrets up. Just finding a place in my build to want to put turrets up. It's a struggle. And it has to happen. It's one of those things where it's another make or break situation, especially in early game. If you're running a build or they are doing a faster rush than you and all you're relying on is your troops, you have better pray that those troops don't go out before you know anything else, because that's your only line of defense. Now, if you have your turrets, they do a lot of damage, and it typically will draw the enemy's attention towards the turrets and off of your base to give you time to, whether it's build more units, build a turret, or your teammate can have time to come help you. So if you're playing, especially 2v2s, build turrets, but in all game modes, build turrets, no matter what. And then siege turrets, just on the side note, siege turrets are super strong if you know that the opponent is going mostly ground units, but they do not hit air units. Personally, for my bases, I go for the front two as anti-air units and the back two as siege turrets, because I know the siege are going to do a lot of damage on the ground units, and then if they do send air units, I'm not completely screwed and it actually has a lot of damage for the air units. So that's what I personally run on my bases. Let me know in the comments if you run something different. Oh, and we have come to our final point in this video. If you've stuck around for this long, props to you. Make sure you hit that like and subscribe button to see more content like this. So, a big problem I see when facing people is they like to run all one unit. And I literally mean all one unit, not just all air, not just all infantry, not just all vehicles, all one unit. I actually have a short on my channel where a team ran all vultures against me, and I had, I think, about 10 or 15, between 10 and 15 reavers. I don't think it was not more than that. And they took out that whole army like it was nothing. Counters are so strong in this game, guys. If they counter you and you thought that you had a good army with your whole air or your whole infantry or your whole vehicle, tank, whatever, they're going to take it out with half the unit. It's that strong, guys. So don't do one unit. Make sure you're working on army composition. Make sure that they have multiple jobs that they could do. It's not all, I hit base hard, boom. Because that same one, when you have reavers or you have anti-air come at you, it's just going to be the end of your day. So try to avoid doing all one unit. Alright, guys, that's going to be the 5 tips/mistakes that I commonly see when facing people in multiplayer in Halo Wars 2. If you learned anything, please make sure to like and subscribe, and there'll be more content like this in the future. And have a great rest of your day. Thank you.